don't really know what's going on or what's in my mind. When I look at time, feel like it's in my grasp, but it sort of gets me every time. I'll run away, I'll never hide. When the truth comes, I'ma be just fine. When the day awaits and the night alive, yeah, we gon' be alright.
He said, move around, what you doing now? Doing now. Said my mind gone. He said, why now? I said, I lost it now. He said, really high.
Shalom, fam. Welcome to another episode of our show. We some of the brothers from the Body of Christ Church. And as always, it's a blessing and a pleasure to come out and bring forth the words of the living God to his people. So as you see the title, we're going to continue with an episode we've been doing on Doctrine of Christ versus Doctrine of Devils. And we was dealing with the Anunnaki. This is the part 4 of this series. And hopefully we could cover everything we need to cover. We did want to hit some things about Isis and Osiris and the goddesses of Egypt and Horus. We might touch in a little of that today, but we do want to continue and expose some things about this doctrine, this modern doctrine of these astronauts coming from other planets, as they has New Age doctrine been saying about it, which is going to show you that it is a New Age doctrine, that they came from another planet and created, or what's the word I'll look for? It wasn't created, but they genetically modified humans is the doctrine that they're pushing, which is a false doctrine. So before we get into it, you have anything you want to add in, brother?
Giving all praises to the Most High through Christ. I just want to take the time to thank the real Most High and the real Christ that are according to the Bible. And, you know, I'm glad you came up with this subject matter, because a lot of people are deceived and blinded by the God of this world, which is Satan. And, you know, we are here to expose it according to truth and the knowledge of the real God. So let's get it on.
All right. All praises. So there was one thing I did want to hit before we I know we the past few shows we've been going back and touching back up on showing you that the sons of God were the Most High's chosen line from the seed of Adam down to Seth, all the way to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, or should I say all the way to Noah, and then Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and Israel. But one more thing I wanted to pull out about the Nephilim. I want to get me Deuteronomy. Let me pull it up. Let me get Deuteronomy. Because some people are saying like these Nephilim or giants were biggest trees and things of that nature, when the Bible don't record them being that tall. So I just wanted to make a point on that. I want to go to Deuteronomy, the 3rd chapter. Because it does give the height of one of them, and I seriously doubt that he was the shortest one, that the Bible would bring out the information on the height of one of them. It speaks about his bed size.
What was his name? Og, king of Bashan, I think it was.
Very good.
All praises. So
let me get us in here.
All
right, you want me to open it up for you?
Yeah, open it up a little bit, bro. Yeah, good. This is what chapter is this of Deuteronomy?
Deuteronomy, the 3rd chapter, starting at verse 11. We'll read 11 down to 13.
Okay. Deuteronomy chapter 3, starting at verse 11. For only Og, king of Bashan, remained of the remnant of giants. Behold, his bedstead was a bedstead of iron. Is it not in Ramoth of the children of Ammon? 9 cubits was the length thereof, and 4 cubits the breadth of it, after the cubit of a man. And this land which we possessed at that time from Aroer, which is by the river Arnon, And half Mount Gilead and the cities thereof gave I unto the Reubenites and to the Gadites. And the rest of Gilead and all Bashan, being the kingdom of Og, gave I unto the half tribe of Manasseh, all the region of Argob with all Bashan, which was called the land of land of giants.
So it says that this giant, so-called, that his bed was what? 9 cubits was the length thereof. So obviously it's something there close to how tall he is.
Yeah.
So let's look up 9 cubits. Let me pull up 9 cubits real quick.
Okay.
To show, is that big as a tree like they saying, or as a building?
47 feet, bro.
What does it say right here? 9 cubits.
9 cubits equals 13.5 feet.
So 13.5 feet. That's not no guy that's as big as a building. And I would imagine he had to be someone very tall among the giants for them to have his height recorded. Plus that's his bed size. I know the length of my bed is about 2 feet longer than me. Or,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
you have to give it at least a feet longer. You know, so I would imagine he had to be at least anywhere from 11 to 12 and a half feet, I would say, which is pretty tall, even by today's standards. But it's not as tall as what you hear people talking about, like these guys was biggest buildings and biggest trees and things of that nature. No, it's not that tall. And not only that, we don't get as big as we were as one time. The scriptures tell us in I meant to get that scripture too. You know what that scripture had in the Apocrypha where it talks about how as time passed, we are not as big as we used to be, or not as the food isn't on the same level that it was. The fragrance and flowers ain't on the same level that it was. The vitamins and proteins and stuff that's in the soil ain't at the same level that it once was. The nutritional value of fruits and vegetables are not at the same level that it once was. So I would also imagine that our strength is not where it was, and our stature is not where it once was as we get older, as the earth deteriorates and get older.
Exactly. 2nd Esdras 5:54.
Okay, let me pull that up real quick. Thank you.
Yep.
2nd Esdras 5th chapter, verse 54, you said?
Yes.
Okay. Let me share the screen real quick.
Second Esdras chapter 5, verse 54. Consider thou therefore also how that ye are less of stature than those that were before you.
Go ahead.
55. And so are they that come after you less than ye, as the creatures which now begin to be old and have passed over the strength of youth.
So it's very simple. You know, they might tell you that, no, we just as big. No, we're not just as big as our forefathers were. We're not as strong. And if you think about it, especially in the time, we spoke about this before, when they were living to be 900 to 1,000 years, I would imagine that a man 500 years old will beat the tail off a 20-year-old or 30-year-old man, or 40. What we are right now at our prime, a man at 500 years old would destroy. What we are now at our prime, a man at 50 would destroy, because you have much more life and energy, that more than we could comprehend right now, what they had in themselves. So an average man would have to be taller than we are now. So you imagine a giant that's about 13 feet tall. He's not really that high to a man that's about, average man. Even if we say the average man was about 7 feet, he saw lies about everything. His records will lie about everything, but the Bible is where the truth is. And the Bible's telling us that our stature is less than it was back then. And I believe that, and it makes sense. Because
Mhm.
even when I was young, I know we used to see flowers, man. That the smell of flowers, man, was so aromatic, man.
Yeah.
Now I smell them. You barely smell anything now.
Hmm.
So they, the earth is really deteriorated.
Hey, you know what, bro? Since we're in the Apocrypha, can we go to Baruch 3 right quick? And I just want to read something straight through and give like a little 30-second commentary on it.
All right, what chapter in Baruch you want?
3. 24 through 28.
All right, Baruch 3:24. It says,
Okay.
"O Israel, how great is the house of God, and how large is the place of his possession. Great and has none end, high and unmeasurable. There were the giants, famous from the beginning, that were of so great stature and so great expert in war. Those did not the Lord choose, neither gave he the way of knowledge unto them. But they were destroyed because they had no wisdom and perished through their own foolishness."
Okay. So I just wanted to go over that right quick because in the beginning, I mentioned, the true God of the Bible. All right. His knowledge and, he runs the whole earth. That's just him. And even though people like to misquote and misunderstand and run with Genesis 6 into this doctrine that we are going over today, we have to understand that they died. When we looked in Deuteronomy, the king of Og of Bashan, he died. So all of these, fallacies about these different, you know, astronauts being giants, being tall as skyscrapers or six-story buildings or whatever, that stuff is not wisdom.
Mhm.
And we're going to go on from there. I just wanted to make sure that we understand that because we, looking at these giants and the whole basis of this doctrine being true is they say, well, it's in the Bible. Yeah, but they died. Only the righteous, only the people that were giants in righteousness, meaning their mind was completely submitted to the Most High, those are the ones that live. And there is nothing about them, um, the giants in this doctrine, the Anunnaki, or whatever. There's nothing about them, you know, giving a way of life or teaching people how to live. There's none of that. So it's of no profit. That's all I had on them.
Yeah, not only in the doctrine, there's nothing like that in the doctrine.
Yeah, yeah. The Anunnaki, they genetically modified. They did this, they did that. The spaceships, okay, so how do we live right so we can attain their status? Oh, blank, buffering. Oh, wait a minute, my internet just went down. No, there's no answer.
Hmm. Okay. All right. Let me take this down. All right. So before we pick up, what I really want to show in this episode is how this stuff that we're looking at is something that's modern. It's a modern philosophy, and the ancients did not worship it the way these guys are using it as a money making tool, and they deceiving many, the modern prophets of the Anunnaki. And where did it come from that they started teaching all this madness about it? But before we get that, there's something I also want us to look at. Let me find this real quick and pull it up. So I got a bunch of pages here I got to close.
Mm-hmm.
Huh? Give me 1 second.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really funny how you got, and we're going to go into it, that they got all these people talking all this stuff in modern times, but when you look at the actual true translation of these tablets and steles and stuff like that, or steels, that from the ancient times, they don't say that. I mean, even on Wikipedia page of Zechariah Stitchin or the Anunnaki, I forget which one it is, they tell you that they took artistic liberty with the translation.
Yeah.
And then from that point started selling many, many books.
Yeah. We're gonna look at Zachary Stitchin, a little history on him, who was a Jew, a European Jew. And we're also gonna look at this other dude, Billy Carlson, and his money making schemes.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to look at this real quick. Read this for me. Can you see this?
Okay. Yes, I can.
Try to blow it up.
No, I'm good. You can leave it back at normal.
Yeah, but look at the picture.
Okay. The pointed hats, the bird coming down, the fish coming up.
All right, go ahead. Read on it what it says.
Okay. The figures can be identified as gods by their pointed hats with multiple horns. The figure with streams of water and fish flowing from his shoulders is Ea, Sumerian Enki. Well, we know that from Billy Carson. God of subterranean waters and of wisdom. Behind him stands Usimu, his two-faced vizier, chief minister.
So wait a minute. This guy right here with the face, two faces, right and left. Where have we seen this guy before?
That's the god Janus for January.
You recognize him, right?
Yeah, because he's looking backwards and forward at the same time. The beginning of doors and gates of predicting the future and not recompensing, but recognizing the past and learning from the past.
Yes, that's the one that the Greeks were dealing with.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And also is where the term January comes from, which modern day people use to celebrate the new year because it's a new beginning, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the same God going all the way back to ancient Sumer. Yep. So it just keeps on showing you how this thing just filters down through different empires all the way to now. You'll still see this guy, the goddess Janus, which they give a different name here, but he has his place in Greek mythology. And this guy, Enki, with waters, that's how you know this thing isn't realistic, because people are looking at it as realistic. But look at this dude, man. He got fishes flowing from him and the ocean coming out of his shoulders.
But guess what? Those two men, gods, got on skirts. And we see that in today's society as well. And then, the having the control of the fish and the subterranean levels, that's Aquaman or Prince Namor. From Greek Roman and comic book mythology, which, the comic book mythology is a lot of it is built on, these ancient gods as well. But let me read the rest of it.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna go down to where it says behind. Behind him stands Isumu, his two-faced vizier or chief minister. At the center of the scene is the sun god Shamash, Sumerian Utu, with rays rising from his shoulders. He is cutting his way through the mountains in order to rise at dawn. To his left is a winged goddess Ishtar, Sumerian Inanna, which is where we get Ashtar, Ashtaroth, Ishtar, and Easter. The weapons rising from her shoulders symbolize her warlike characteristics, which is the strong black woman goddess characteristic in this modern society. Just wait, you'll see.
Yeah. At the center of the scene is the sun god Shamash. That's the one I really wanted, because we know that the sun god, this is him right here, using a knife to cut through. So this sun god is something that has been worshipped all the way till now.
Yeah,
is the worship of the sun god Shamash. So I kind of wanted to highlight that. And the funny thing about these deities that these people use, when you look at them, I want to pull up another picture. I was kind of wanted to save this for the Egyptian episode but I want to pull it up now to show something about this.
Yeah, we'll just pull it back up again next time, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
Make sure I get the right one.
Mm-hmm.
This is an Egyptian god here. And I just want to make a point on how these guys have all these human type characteristics.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at this guy here,
Mm.
this is supposed to be the original sun god of the Egyptians. But something funny I want to show you about here. Matter of fact, read here about him.
Okay. Excuse me, I hit the mic. Atum, Egyptian, whatever. Blah blah blah. Sometimes rendered as Atem or Tim, not Adam, but Atam. So there's a difference because people try to tie him into Adam. Is the primordial god in Egyptian mythology from whom all else arose. He created himself. Hold on. Okay, let me get myself together. Okay, he created himself and is the father of Shu and Tifna, the divine couple, who are the ancestors of the other Egyptian deities. Atum is also closely associated with the evening sun. As a primordial god and as the evening sun, Atum as satanic and underworld connections. So, as above, so below. You see how this stuff all ties in?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
And
Go ahead.
and the thing is, he's only the evening sun god. But these
Mhm.
guys usually claim the way they worship them, they would claim a planet, and the top god would be the sun god.
Mhm.
That's the planet of the top god. But the
Mhm.
thing I wanted to show right here shows you a little family tree,
Mhm.
and then you got Isis, Osiris, and all that. Seth,
Mhm. Mhm.
Horus, they all way down here. So, when I first heard about Isis and Osiris, I thought they were the top dudes, but they way down here like third generation gods, third or
Mhm.
fourth generation. You got Tim, but over here it said he created himself, but over here you got somebody else.
That's Ptah, which is the goddess, the golden calf. It was a female calf with horns, so it had the sexes merged, and she carried the sun god through the sky in the morning and afternoon because she was the goddess of the firmament, the the thing that the atom or Ra or whatever sat in. Also, she is the goddess that I think it's Rihanna has tattooed on her stomach under her breast, like squatting, kneeling with her wings spread. She also took that form as well. But that goddess Ptah is the golden calf that the Israelites were worshiping in the wilderness.
Very good. But the thing is, too, you see these gods, they supposed to be brothers and sisters, but they having children, brothers and sisters. They had all these children. And Osiris and Isis, brothers and sisters again, had Horus. So it's all in the family.
Oh yeah. Hmm.
And read this bottom part right here, a representation of.
A representation of the Memphite idea of creation, stating Ptah as the original creator and father to Atum Ra. But Ptah was the sun goddess. So how can she be the father or something?
So that's all going into Egyptian mythology.
Mm.
And it is connected with the Anunnaki as well. Just just different names.
Yep.
So okay.
Mhm.
All right, I want to bring this up about this guy. We're gonna play a video about him, but I
Mhm.
want to read a couple of things about this individual here. Hopefully, this video shouldn't be that long. Let's read up on this guy, Zachary Stitchins.
All right.
I just want to read these two things about him right here.
Okay. Zechariah Stitchin was an author of a number of books proposing an explanation for human origins involving ancient astronauts. Stitchin attributed the creation of the ancient Sumerian culture to the Anunnaki, which he stated was a race of extraterrestrials from a planet beyond Neptune called Nibiru. He asserted that Sumerian mythology suggests that this hypothetical planet of Nibiru is in an elongated 3,600-year-long elliptical orbit around the sun. Stitchin's books have sold millions of copies worldwide and have been translated into more than 25 languages. Wow, that dude got loot.
Yeah, he got loot and his family got loot, but he's the one that started with all this stuff about ancient astronauts creating humanity. When we look into it, that was never taught by the Egyptians. It wasn't taught by the Akkadians. It wasn't taught by the Sumerians. It's taught by this man here. So let's continue to read on him.
Okay, in what, 1973 or something? So Stitchin's ideas have been resoundingly rejected by scientists, academics, historians, including Sumerologists, Orientalists, and Assyriologists. And Sumeriologist is somebody that is studied in Sumeria. Orientalist is somebody that's ancient or Orient culture, and Assyriologists are those that studied the ancient Assyrian culture, like Nineveh and the other cities separate from Babylon.
Yeah, they dig archaeological foundings and things of that nature.
Yeah.
And none of them has found any evidence of the things that he's spewing out in these books. But it looks like other individuals have picked up the baton and are bringing forth his doctrine as if it's gospel.
Yeah, and they making mad money off of this doctrine, just like a mega church pastor. So I'm gonna start that again. Stitchin's ideas have been resoundingly rejected by scientists, academics, historians, including Sumerologists, Orientalists, and Assyriologists, and anthropology. Oh my God, anthropology.
You're doing good, bro. You're doing way better than I'll do.
No. Anthropologists. I'll say it the wrong way. Anthropologists who dismiss his work as pseudoscience and pseudo history. So he coming with pseudoscience and pseudo history, but he making real money.
Yeah, people are buying it up. They're buying it up.
His work has been criticized for flawed methodology, ignoring archaeological and historical evidence. Remember I said he took liberty with the translations?
Yeah, absolutely.
And mistranslations of ancient texts, as well as for incorrect astronomical and scientific claims. So it's foolishness.
Yeah. And people want to make fun of the Bible and go into this dude when the stuff he brings out is total madness, bro. You talk about a comic book history, bro.
Oh my goodness, bro.
Straight up comic book.
Avengers Assemble, bro.
But people believe in it. People believe in it as being the original true origins of man. You know, they believe it. And read one more part right here of where he come from.
Stitchin was born into a Jewish family in Baku, the capital of then Soviet Azerbaijan, and raised in Mandatory Palestine, which in 1948 became the modern state of Israel. He received a degree in economics, not anthropology, not Sumerology or anything like that. degree in economics from the University of London.
So he knows money.
Yeah, he came from money. If he was able to travel from Palestine to London to study at the University of London, he was already connected with money and people, and was an editor and journalist in Israel before moving to New York in 1952. While working as an executive for a shipping company, so more money, he taught himself Sumerian cuneiform and visited several archaeological sites. So that's going, I guess the spirit hit him, bro. And he got that knowledge to write that stuff in that book is pseudoscience.
Yeah, I guess he saw the potential there.
Mm-hmm.
As other people nowadays are seeing the potential to make a large sum of money with this doctrine. Okay, and I want to pull up a video about him. Let me pull up this video.
All right.
Again, this video here, they speak a lot on the ancient Sumer.
Mm-hmm.
And the name of the video is called, hold on, let me get it. Let me pull it up first.
Mm-hmm.
Because I might have wrote something wrong on here.
Yeah. So, like, if I teach myself Spanish, am I going to be like able to understand the dialects and different intricate meanings from one Spanish country to another in Spanish without dealing with anybody that actually knows or teaches Spanish? No, I won't. Same thing with this dude taking his artistic liberty with science and translations.
Yeah. Yeah. I kind of picked parts out of here. This video is kind of long. Well, it's 52 minutes. It's called Mind Blowing Anunnaki and Nephilim, 4K documentary. It's from Geognostic Informant.
And it's very good. I would recommend, or we recommend, that you go ahead and watch the whole thing, because it's going to blow your mind regarding the falsehoods that this dude is coming out with.
Yeah. It makes some connections too between the Isis and Ishtar and all that stuff when you look at the Anunnakis. And let me just play it. The guy that's the people they use it. Matter of fact, I'll just play it and then I'll interject.
As giants or mighty warriors. The interpretation of the Anunnaki as deities of the ancient Sumerians, Akkadians, Assyrians, and Babylonians is well established in historical and archaeological research. However, in recent years, the Anunnaki have taken on a new life in the realm of pseudo-archaeology.
You hear that? You say they're well established in Sumer, Akkadians, and things of that nature as being, gods, pagan gods that we were commanded not to worship when our forefathers came out of Egypt. It's well documented, but in modern days, it takes on another life, if you will.
Yep.
By these people that are teaching that these things actually exist and came from different planets, and they came from the planet Nibiru, came near Earth, and they jumped from that planet onto this planet, and they were taking gold for all types of madness, man. They were taking gold, they were mining gold and using the gold for the atmosphere of that planet.
Where's the records of that?
There is none.
Thank you.
Uh-oh.
Conspiracy theories and science fiction. For example, the ancient astronaut theory proposed by Zecharia Sitchin.
Okay, there he goes. This is one of his books.
Earth Chronicle.
This is one of his books here.
Yeah, for $24.95.
Sorry about that. Let me hold on a second. All right.
Argues that the Anunnaki were actually a race of extraterrestrial beings from the planet Nibiru, who visited Earth in search of gold over 400,000 years ago. According to Sitchin, these beings genetically engineered Homo sapiens as a worker race to mine gold. Zechariah Sitchin also posits that the Anunnaki were a race of extraterrestrial beings who visited Earth and genetically engineered humans.
So this is the guy here, the Jewish man here, that brought out this false doctrine.
For over a half a century, biblical scholar and near.
Let me fast forward a little. Again, you can watch this on YouTube. It's 52 minutes long. There's another video too that's about 7 hours, and they use the same people that's about to speak here. I think they are Syriologists, and they're gonna speak on how he mistranslated a lot of things. And again, you can watch it for yourself. I'm gonna jump around a lot because, you know, for time's sake.
Yeah.
Important to emphasize that these interpretations are not accepted by mainstream historians, archaeologists, or experts in Mesopotamian mythology. They are often criticized for a lack of rigorous scholarship, misinterpretations of ancient texts, and a reliance on unsupported speculations. Here is Dr. Joshua Bowen, an Assyriologist who has done several videos and wrote books on this subject. I have links to these full videos and his book, How to Read Sumerian, which is one of my go-tos in my library.
You know, you have to keep this in mind when you...
All right. They're kind of using some joke. They're kind of joking around here saying to believe that stuff, you had to be a tinfoil hat wearing person, or so they're kind of making mockery of people that believe in that. I kind of wish they didn't do that because it makes them look less credible dressing like that.
Yeah, but it is kind of interesting though.
Yeah. I was looking for another source because it did turn me off that they were dressing like clowns on it. But they did make some very good points. And they are using another video that's about 7 hours long. They use them also. I think this is a short version of that video because that video brings out a lot more information that we'll be doing this class for years to come. But anyway, let me play a little more of them.
Number one, when you look at Sumerian and what people are saying about Sumerian, but you know, in his book, he does this all the time. You know what? It's sort of the equivalent to, it's far worse, but it's roughly equivalent to if you were to say butterfly, right? Somebody 1,000 years from now will see the word butterfly and they would say, this is a type of a stick that was kind of slippery and went on bread that was able to soar through the air. Butterfly. Nope. No, it's not.
As it turns out.
So he's giving us an example how he's using conjecture to add and to put in his own spin on what he's reading in the text. Gods as ancient astronauts. So let me jump a little more. I'm gonna jump around a little.
I mean, so here's what I would say. Sitchin consistently misunderstood, mistranslated, or at worst, intentionally misrepresented the Sumerian and Akkadian linguistic data. It seems likely that he did not know Sumerian or Akkadian. If he did, he made such basic and egregious errors.
I want to ask you this too, because all these tablets are coming from ancient Sumerian and Akkadian, and some also later they found. Does that predate biblical knowledge?
No, it predates when the commandments were written, but it does not predate the knowledge of the commandments like for instance, Noah knew the commandments. Yes. Abraham knew the commandments also, but I want to go back to Noah because it says Noah was perfect. It also said that Noah understood what clean and unclean animals were. All right. It said that all the men of that time were evil, but it also says that Noah was righteous. And these are the same words that are used in like Deuteronomy 6:25. Righteousness is keeping his commandments as he commanded them.
Yes.
Leviticus 11 is the unclean animals law. And all of this stuff is gone over again and again. You can look at Peter in Acts chapter 10. No, Lord, what are you talking about? I've never eaten any unclean animal.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that knowledge is the same throughout the Bible, but it came from before this Babylonian or Sumerian, Akkadian, whatever societies were set up. It goes all the knowledge of the Lord, like it said in Baruch 3. It goes all the way back to the Most High giving that understanding to Adam.
Thank you. Thank you. I wanted to bring that out because the statement is made that these things predate the Bible. And one of the individuals that said that, he said that the Bible wasn't written to sometime after something AD, he said, which is a lie.
Well, bro,
he might be referring to the New Testament.
Mm-hmm.
But even when you look at the writing of Moses, you're going way back,
Mm-hmm.
a good around 1500 BC.
Yeah.
Then even prior to that, we have the example of Cain and Abel. One of them bought offering that was accepted. One of them bought offering that was not accepted. How did he know to bring offerings that were acceptable?
Because of the sacrificial law that was actually given to us in writing in Leviticus.
Well, I'm talking about Cain and Abel.
Yeah, but it was given to the Israelites later on.
Yeah,
but that's the same sacrificial law that people understood. Let me give you an example, brother.
I know what you're saying. Yeah, but go ahead. For the listening audience, go ahead.
I'm gonna ask you a question, right?
Sure.
2 + 2 is what?
4.
Okay. Do you need that written down since you learned it?
No.
Okay. All right. But about 10 years ago, Will Slapper Brother Smith said 2 + 2 is 4 only if I want it to be. If I want it to be 5, it can be 5. So now, somebody now 10 years later, no, man, 2 + 2 is 4. No. Will Smith predates that. Yeah, it predates me saying it now, but it's always been that way.
Thank you. And that's the understanding. That's part of the understanding of Christ. When you're dealing with the knowledge of Christ, he's saying, like, you know, when you read the new covenant, it's basically telling us that we should know right from wrong. He said the law is not made for the righteous man, but for sinners. So if you're doing wicked and evil, now I got to give you a law because you don't even know how to treat your brother. That should be common sense that you shouldn't steal from your brother.
Thank you.
That should be common sense that you shouldn't sleep with your brother's wife. But since y'all starting to do that and y'all getting evil, now I got to write it down. So when it came to the new covenant and dealing with Christ, it wasn't written. It didn't have to be written down again. But he showed us the example on how we should deal righteously. So when you look at the difference between the new and the old covenant, the new, Moses had it written on stone, tablets of stone. I mean, the old, Moses had it written on tablets of stone, but the new, where's it written at? It wasn't written on no tablets of stone. It said it was written in our hearts, because if we follow Christ and his examples, we should know how to treat each other. We should know how to treat a sister if we truly dealing in that spirit of charity. So originally, the Most High didn't give Adam commandments written on stones, but the knowledge was there. They had the knowledge and they understood how they had to deal. It was handed down.
Exactly, bro. And you know what? Going back to Noah, which predates Sumerian, Akkadian, Assyrian societies at their earliest point. Noah predates them, right?
Well, during the time of Sumer, Noah was around during the time of ancient Sumer, because that's when the flood took place and ancient Sumer got destroyed.
Yeah. So now for ancient Sumer to be built up by Nimrod, Noah predated that.
Oh, yeah. When you're talking about, they referred to the time of Nimrod as Akkadian.
Okay. So we know that Sumerian wasn't perfect. They got destroyed, right? Whatever. And Noah survived. But when you look at when Noah got off the ark, the Lord said, if any man shed a man's blood, his blood will be shed. So if you murder somebody, This is the penalty. So basically, he's saying if you value your life, don't take anybody else's life. So he's saying thou shalt not murder unless you want to die, right? So now, why did that judgment and law have to be given to Noah for him to reinforce it in the people that would come from his children? Because they was doing it before the flood and it was unrighteous.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that righteousness always existed. Like you said, why should you have it written down in the Bible to tell you how to treat your brother? Because we don't know how, because we're wicked. That Noah and murder example and the stealing example and stuff like that, that stuff was always an understanding. But because we were, are, and hopefully not will be wicked, it has to be written down for us. But it was not always written down.
Yeah.
It wasn't always written down. It was always an understanding that you were taught as a child, and then you were guided. And then when you were old enough, you were living it on your own without supervision. You were able to be righteous before the Most High, like Noah was. You know.
So the point being is that when we look at ancient Sumer, even though they didn't have a Bible, they knew about Adam. They knew about the Most High and the creation.
Yes.
They knew about sin. They knew about the laws and everything. So to say that it predates that is individuals that are very foolish in their understanding of Scripture. They're very foolishness in spiritual understanding, because these things do not predate man. They do not predate the biblical records. So that's false. So let's continue.
Because this war right here, like it's, and we just went over like the first bullet point. Let's look at the rest, man. This is interesting.
With the language, that one can only conclude that he was intentionally misleading his audience. In either case,
hold on. So he did not know, even though it says he taught himself this, he made basic and extremely harmful errors with the language that one can only conclude that he was intentionally misleading his audience. If that ain't a mega church pastor saying what he got to say to get that money, I don't know what is, because this Stitching dude made a ton of money off these books.
Read this part right here. It said it seems likely that he did not know Sumerian or Akkadian. If he did, he made such basic and egregious errors, which the language that one can only conclude that he was intentionally misleading his audience.
He was a mega church pastor, bro.
Yeah, he was an opportunist, man. He knew about money. He knew that was an opportunity to make a lot of money. But the story that he's telling, the ancient people didn't believe it the way he's telling it. So this last part, this right here, I couldn't take this down. YouTube.com digital Hammurabi. The people who made the video put this on there, but it made an excellent point to sell. It's talking about to sell books, but he's gonna say you got to pay close attention to what he says when he read this line here.
Stitchin brilliantly used the Mesopotamian literary corpus and the lack of widespread familiarity with the text and the languages to sell his books.
You see that? He brilliantly used the literature and the lack of widespread familiarity. Yeah, with the language and the text to deceive the public so he could sell books. And somebody else is doing that right now.
If he did that intentionally or not, I can't get in his head.
While these theories of fallen aliens might be shocking and compelling to some, they should be taken with a large grain of skepticism. Anything's possible, but as it stands, there is no empirical evidence or scholarly consensus that supports these claims. They are generally viewed as fringe theories outside of accepted academic discourse. These ancient alien theories, as it must be stressed, they involve misinterpretations and mistranslations of the text.
So,
Okay. I want to pull another part here. Let me go.
Wow, man. This stuff is crazy. I thought the stuff was like funny crazy. I didn't know it was cray-cray crazy.
Oh my goodness. Let me
This book makes you want to weep and then die.
Sitchin's interpretation of the Enuma Elish and his association of Marduk with Nibiru is heavily criticized by scholars. Mainstream interpretation reads the Enuma Elish as mythology and not literal astronomical account, more connected with nature of the world rather than the nature of space. Furthermore, Sitchin's identification of Nibiru with Marduk is not supported in any cuneiform text that we know of. The term Nibiru in the extant text is used to denote a point of crossing, and sometimes is associated with certain celestial bodies, depending on their position in the sky. But it's never described as the home of the Anunnaki, nor as an additional planet in our solar system.
You hear that?
Wow. So it was like, you know, a point of crossing, like when stars cross, or, you know, the planets cross in their paths or meet up or something like that. When the planets align, it was used more something like in that type of term, not as a whole nother different planet.
Yeah.
Man, this is, you know what? I'm gonna have to say it. He was more than a mega church pastor. This dude was a pimp.
Hey, he's still pimping them to this day, man.
Mm-hmm. His estate still getting rich off these books.
And people are still believing in this stuff, man.
Unusual orbit, as Sitchin claims.
So the problem with this, apart from taking a myth as literal fact and believing that the gods were actually aliens that genuinely came to Earth and genetically engineered all humanity, the problem with this is that the goddess Inanna is very often conceptualized as the planet Venus.
All the time.
It's very, very common in Mesopotamia for gods to be like not just associated with celestial bodies, but they are those celestial bodies. It's why judgments would take place outside before Utu or Shamash, the sun god, because he was the god of judgment, because as the sun, the literal sun, he saw everything that happened. So he wouldn't.
So that's a very interesting point they're making, that these ancient gods like Ishtar was Venus, that they believed that these planets were these ancient gods. So they believe that planets, even to this day, I heard people say that planets are angels and things of that nature. I don't know if you ever heard that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the things that they point out that people believe.
Mm-hmm.
Know if you were telling the truth, and he would know if you were lying. So Inanna is not flying over the Earth in a rocket ship. She is the Venus star.
Where the Venus star
She's
at?
the planet Venus.
Oh, it up there.
Yeah, that's Inanna.
Sitchin's theories and translations of Sumerian texts have drawn considerable criticism from professional scholars in the field. Some of the key points of contention from Dr. Bowen and others, who are proficient in the Sumerian language, have pointed out numerous mistakes in his translations. They argue that Sitchin appears to lack a solid understanding of Sumerian grammar, syntax, and vocabulary.
Hold on. This dude did not understand grammar, which is punctuations, apostrophes, periods, commas, semicolons. He did not understand syntax, which means sentence construction. Paul ran to get the ball. Proper noun, action, subject, action, what the subject did with the action. All right. The object of the action that the subject did. All right. Syntax. Or vocabulary. See Jane run. He would translate it as Jimmy looked fat. From CJ and Run. Dude, come on. How crazy is that? How crazy is that? You know, it's absolutely insane that we don't investigate stuff before we get into it. It's just absolutely crazy, bro. I don't understand that. Matter of fact, can you rewind like 30 seconds or something like that and play that part again? I just had to interrupt. I'm sorry about that, bro. But let's give me like 30 seconds. Yeah, right there. Yep, thanks.
Outside before Utu or Shamash, the sun god, because he was the god of judgment, because as the sun, the literal sun, he saw everything that happened. So he would know if you were telling the truth, and he would know if you were lying. So Inanna is not flying over the earth in a rocket ship. She is the Venus star.
Where the Venus star
She's
at?
the planet Venus.
Oh, it's up there.
Yeah, that's Inanna.
Sitchin's theories and translations of Sumerian texts have drawn considerable criticism from professional scholars in the field. Some of the key points of contention from Dr. Bowen and others, who are proficient in the Sumerian language, have pointed out numerous mistakes in his translations. They argue that Sitchin appears to lack a solid understanding of Sumerian grammar, syntax, and vocabulary, which leads him to create translations that deviate significantly from the accepted readings of these texts.
So he says the text quoted Enlil as saying,
Insane, bro. Insane. And people paid for that.
Text out of context and imposing his own interpretations on them. For instance, he refers to the Anunnaki as actual extraterrestrial beings. Sitchin claims that the Sumerians knew of an extra planet beyond Neptune called Nibiru, which has a long elliptical orbit around the sun. He never provides the source for this or what text he's referring to. According to Sitchin, the Sumerians believe that the Anunnaki came from this planet. However, scholars point out that the term Nibiru is just used for a celestial point of crossing or a large celestial body, and there's no text that identifies Nibiru as an ancient home for the Anunnaki.
You see how that works?
Wow. Wow. But how many books did he have in total?
People, when we say something, we try.
How many books did he have in total? Like 7 or 8, something like that? I know he made a ton of money off that. And it was all a fabrication.
Sorry, I was talking. I didn't even realize I was muted.
Uh,
I wonder how long I was muted. But you can go to Amazon and YouTube and still find his books right now.
Got to back it up with a citation. You know, any of the Sitchinites that are listening that want to defend their position, this is what's useful.
you don't, as Dear Sitchin has done, just provide a translation and don't tell them what text it's from. Traditionally, you give a text. If you have it, you give a tablet number so we can go and look at the actual tablet you're citing, a line number, whether it's on the obverse or the reverse of the tablet, because they did write on both sides. This is how it's normally done in responsible scholarship so that people can go track down your evidence for themselves and assess your argument properly.
He often contradicts
his
the
books.
consensus.
See right here, Zachary Stitchin's The 12th Planet, which there's no evidence of. The Starway to Heaven, The War of Gods and Men. He claimed that they had a war on the earth. No evidence.
And his theories are never published in peer-reviewed academic journals, a process that ensures scholarly accuracy and reliability. Instead, he chooses the self-published route. Lastly, Sitchin's theories lack empirical evidence. He makes significant claims about advanced technologies, genetic engineering, and architectural capabilities of ancient civilizations based on his interpretations of text, but doesn't provide archaeological or physical evidence to substantiate these claims. Ancient astronaut theory often relies on questionable interpretations of ancient text. In the case of Sitchin's work, the Sumerian texts describe Anunnaki as extraterrestrials from a hypothetical planet. Sitchin's translations of these texts do not have anything in common with anything in Sumerian mythology and are.
So you see what they showed so far. What was it, like 12 books?
Yeah,
It was 12 or 9, something like that.
12. I think it was 12.
And he incorporates the Bible, Genesis revisited, when
Mhm.
this thing don't have a damn thing to do with Genesis.
Well, you know, as a Jewish person, he should know what it says in the Torah or Tanakh about teaching something that is not taught in the Torah or Tanakh. And he is going against that. So I guess that's one of the reasons why he's not here anymore.
But you know what, too, man? If you want to make a lot of money and you can put the Bible on it, that's definitely a way to get a lot of money coming in.
Oh yeah.
You know, because a lot of people believe in the Bible. So if you put the Bible on it to say that it backs up the Bible, or the Bible backs this up, and throw in the giants, and these were the giants, and people are going to be curious, and they're going to come looking. You know. And the other thing is, matter of fact, I'm gonna finish this up, and I'm gonna bring out another point I want to show you.
Often relies on questionable interpretations of ancient text. In the case of Sitchin's work, the Sumerian texts describe Anunnaki as extraterrestrials from a hypothetical planet. Sitchin's translations of these texts do not have anything in common with anything in Sumerian mythology and are heavily influenced by.
Hold on. That last book, A Guide to Visions and stuff. What is this dude talking about? What does having you in nowadays right there? A Guide to Visions, Angels, and Other Emissaries. So what he's doing is telling you how to accept evil spirits and trust in dreams and, you know, numerology, all the stuff that the Most High forbids, even in the Old Testament, which I think is what Jewish people believe or deal with. You know, I mean, they talking so much about this cat and how, I mean, it's true, but if somebody was defending him, the only thing they could do is say that he was an anti-Semite. You know, to the person that was putting these facts out about it, because you know that's. You know, it's like black people do. You can't say nothing wrong, even though it's true, about a black person, because then you'd be racist.
Yeah.
But this dude is like everything this dude is postulating or putting forth, everything is wrong. Everything.
Sitchin's translations of these texts do not have anything in common with anything in Sumerian mythology and are heavily.
And so there it goes. His interpretation of the text that the ancient Samaritans had and wrote, his interpretation has nothing to do with the way they followed and worshiped.
Exactly.
So what does that tell you?
Madness.
Influenced by modern sci-fi films and books.
He said the influence that he has is stuff that you'll see in modern sci-fi and books. That's basically what he's dealing with. Modern BS.
The ancient astronaut theory proposes that the Anunnaki genetically engineered humans to mine gold, and that they built sophisticated technology and structures like the pyramids, and that these are not tombs, but also advanced technology. There's a lack of empirical evidence to support any of these claims. If such advanced technologies were used in ancient times, we would expect to find physical remnants or unambiguous depictions of this technology in ancient artifacts and primary sources. No such evidence has been found. The theory reflects a modern bias that ancient.
I want to show something too here. I don't know if y'all caught this right here. Oh man, I don't want to go too far back. See right here, this
Theory
stone?
reflects a
Oh man, I went past it. I want y'all to get a look at this stone.
ancient artifacts and primary source.
You see these stones?
Yeah, capstones.
You see the writings on them?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it is missing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's how a lot of the stones that they're dealing with, these tablets. I'm gonna show you pictures of them.
Yeah, some of them. A lot of the tablets are fragments.
Yeah, a lot of it is missing. So if you have someone, and basically they had to, you know, from the source that I should have found that video, because it was a video I watched a while back, and it was explaining how they had to insert what they believe that the tablet, the stones were saying in certain areas. Let me finish this up, and I'm gonna pull it up and show you what it looked like.
Sources. No such evidence has been found. Theory reflects a modern bias that ancient civilizations lack the capability to build monumental architecture or develop complex societies on their own. This underestimates the capability of our ancestors. Archaeologists have demonstrated that ancient societies had the knowledge, skills, and organization to construct monumental architecture and develop complex civilizations without the need for extraterrestrial invention. These ancient astronaut theorists tend to operate outside the standard methodologies and principles of historical and archaeological research, often prioritizing sensational interpretations over more plausible ones, and tend to dismiss contrary evidence. This approach does not follow the principles of scientific inquiry, which require hypotheses to be based on empirical evidence and to be testable and falsifiable. While the ancient astronauts theory might be intriguing, it does not hold up under scrutiny. The Anunnaki, as understood by mainstream historians and archaeologists, were deities in the ancient Mesopotamian pantheon, not extraterrestrial beings. Our understanding of the Anunnaki, like many aspects of ancient civilization, is continually refined through ongoing scholarly research and archaeological discovery.
All right, I'm having little issues here, man. I don't know if are you still there, bro? You got removed somehow. I added you back in, but
yeah, it just dropped, bro. I don't know what happened. It was like, you know, I was sending you a text saying I don't know what happened, and then it popped up again. So all praises to the Most High through Christ. I'm back.
Yeah, I was having some issues. I hope it didn't mess up the recording.
No, it'll be all right, man. Just go with it. If you didn't have anything else, I want to go to one scripture right now.
I want to show you some of these tablets that they use. I'm gonna put this up, then you go to that scripture. You see that picture right there?
Yes.
You see how damaged these things are that they're using?
Okay, that looked like a couple paragraph missing in
that.
Man,
couple paragraphs.
Second from left one got a couple paragraphs missing, bro. And then the third, oh man, every one of them got something missing that could affect the context. I mean, the most perfect one, I think, would be the left tablet, the left-hand side of the left tablet, because it's only a crack. But you look at the right side of the left tablet, the middle tablet, the two middle ones, and then the corners and the splotches and stuff out of the tablet on the right side, and then at the bottom of the right side tablet. You know, the best you can do is like, it's like you read the book, a book about the sinking of the Titanic, and then everywhere it mentions iceberg is missing. So you don't know if it was a torpedo bomber, a torpedo from a submarine, or an iceberg, or the ship just wasn't built right, or it was explosives in the hull or something. It's like a lot of stuff is missing. And then plus, we're really not actually sure about the translation, about how it translates to English. You know what I mean?
Yes, I agree with you. Not only that, it's written, like I said, I had a video, I couldn't find it again, but they was explaining how they had to insert their own beliefs
Yeah.
on what they thought the rest of it said to make it complete.
Yes.
So you have individuals that grew up Jewish or Christian. If they're going to insert something, what you think they're going to insert?
Something according to their beliefs. Or
Exactly.
if you have an interpreter,
So
they're going to.
especially if you're trying to sell something. So now
Yes.
they like to say that the Bible was plagiarized from this. I like to say that was plagiarized from the Bible.
Well, bro, just like a pastor is going to take stuff from the Bible and add to it what he can to get as much money out that congregation and still have them feel good and happy that they gave him that money. That's what this dude did. That's what he did.
Yeah. You have that other individual, so you have some information about him also.
Yeah, I'm gonna maybe we can bring that out in the next part, but I mean we can go to the website if you
pull
want.
it up. You get a chance. Give me the scripture you wanted, and pull that up for me.
Wisdom of Solomon 13 verses 1 to 3.
Okay. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 13.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And verses 1 to 3. I'm going to read Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 13, verse 1. Surely vain are all men by nature, who are ignorant of God, and could not, out of the good things that are seen, know him that is. Neither by considering the works did they acknowledge the workmaster, but deemed either fire or wind, or the swift air, or the circles of the stars, or the violent water, or the lights of heaven, to be the gods which govern the world.
Okay, hold on. So remember the man and woman were saying that they assigned God-like qualities to planets.
They were saying the planets were gods.
Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing too. Remember on that it was like the Babylon was it Sumerian? But the guy had the one god had the water and the fish flowing from his shoulders. The other god was cutting through the mountains with the rays of sun and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying the gods are the swift waters or the circle of the earth or the this or the that they see in nature, in our environment on earth. But they don't consider that, guess what? If these things are so beautiful and powerful, how much more awesome and beautiful and powerful is the God, the one God of the Bible that made them?
Yes.
That's where we fall short.
Exactly. All right, verse 3. With whose beauty, if they being delighted, took them to be gods. Let me read that again. With whose beauty, if they being delighted, took them to be gods. Let them know how much better the Lord of them is, for the first author of beauty has created them.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a good point, because all these things they ascribing to be gods. Like you said, that the god had a knife and he was cutting through the dawn mountains so the sun could come up in the morning, so he can make his appearance in the morning. He has to cut through mountains to make his appearance. You know what I'm saying? You see these things, man, and then you see Ishtar flying around with wings on her. And then you had a god with two faces. Then you had Enki, the god that had the water and the fish flying off his shoulders. And he had the two-faced god, which we know now is Janus, following him. And all this is a bunch of madness, man. And these dudes took this thing and to make it as these beings really existed.
Mm-hmm.
And people are leaving Israel to follow this madness. It's insane.
Mm-hmm.
All right, did you get that?
Yeah, gotta let me see. Okay, yeah, it's pulled up now.
Unless you want, I could show a couple
No,
of
I got it. I got it. It's up. But
okay.
yeah, this is Billy Carson's website. Okay. So let's see. Let's zoom in a little bit. Maybe that looks a little bit better. So what we're going to do is we're going to go here. This is his website, Forbidden Knowledge, where he has, cosmic perspective on earthly battles, the quantum decree of Thoth, which is Thoth is another Egyptian style god that comes from the Anunnaki. Whatever, man. But anyway, let's go here, books to read so you can get up on the knowledge that this dude has, because he's basically a Zechariah Stitchenite.
Yeah, he's a disciple of Zechariah Stitchen.
Okay, so check this out. This is recommended reading. Top of the list, right? Let's see. Woke doesn't mean broke. Billy Carson. Wow, his book. Emerald Tablets. His book. Manifesting Your Destiny. Manifest Destiny Journal on how to use witchcraft to make things happen, to call things into existence for your personal benefit. And a lot of people like to say Christ did that, but when Christ had the opportunity to manifest those stones into bread for his personal benefit, he did not. He considered it a temptation of Satan, or was a temptation of Satan. So you try to manifest stuff for your own benefit, guess what you're doing? You're going into the wisdom of Satan. But it's his son's book. Okay. Yeah. And I believe this is his girlfriend or wife or whatever. Graham Hancock. Okay. Graham Hancock.
Look at this one. Magicians of the Gods.
Mm-hmm.
Which we know they did deal a lot in witchcraft, because that's what it's talking about, witchcraft.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And they do deal deep into witchcraft and sorcery.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the individuals that I have heard that possess certain territories. Like they try to ascribe gods to this planet and that planet. Mm-hmm. Well, I have heard that there were certain territories or islands that certain demons are in charge of.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? Look at this. The Masons book, Morals and Dogma, written by a high-powered Freemason wearing a skirt. So that goes back to that Babylonian sculpture that we saw with the gods wearing the skirts or something. The Three Initiates. All right. Secret Teachings of All Ages by one of the most powerful the Masons, and we're going to have to do a class on those soon. One of the most powerful Masons of the 20th century, Manly P. Hall. Some of these books are books you shouldn't even have in your house. Ancient Egypt, Before the Pyramids, Tree of Life, 32 Secret Paths of Solomon. This is Kabbalah, basically right here. They're ascribing Solomon's name to it. I'm not sure if he got into it. He did get into the idolatry, marrying all them women. Okay. But this stuff is like witchcraft and devil, communing with the devil, basically. 32 Secret Paths of Solomon, the Lesser Key of Solomon. And then down here you have Solomon's Builders, Lost Keys of Freemasonry, because he wants you to get into that Satanism, because Freemasonry is another denomination of Satanism. All right. The Alchemical Keys to Masonic Ritual. Oh, he wants you to get into ritualized Satanism. Freemasons for Dummies. Okay. All right. So these are the things, the alchemists, art of war. These are the things that this dude is actually pushing. He is actually pushing this stuff on people to be up on the knowledge that he's talking about, but none of these books tell you and teach you how to live right according to the Most High God, the creator of all heaven and earth. They are telling you how to commune with Satan and be selfish, heartless, and deceptive like Satan is.
Yeah. Yeah. They're not telling you about eternal life, how to make it,
Mhm.
you know, into the kingdom of the Most High, how to live righteously before the Most High. You know what I'm saying? How to deal with your brother, how to deal with your wife and relationships and, you know, children, and how to deal, how we supposed to deal with one another on this planet.
Mhm.
Nothing about the information that would heal this planet and heal us as a
Mhm.
people. Just like you said, just selfishness about myself. How can I get some money? How can money, and, you know, and I be me.
Mhm.
But the
Exactly.
knowledge of the Most High isn't about that.
Mhm. Yeah.
And that's what you notice when you get into all this stuff that they're bringing out, all these things about these tablets. Nothing is going to enrich you spiritually.
Mhm.
That's how we know it's a bunch of madness.
Yeah, you can go ahead and take that down if you want, bro.
Okay,
Let's
I'm gonna
see.
throw up one real quick thing. I know
Mhm.
we about to we ain't gonna
Yeah.
hit it that long today.
Yeah, because I got my internet connection is unstable. I'm gonna have to go in a minute.
I thought I pulled it down, man. I stopped the sharing,
No,
but
okay, hold on 1 second. I got you. I'll do it from my side.
okay.
All right, there we go.
And I was telling you earlier. Let me pull this up real quick, just since you pulled that up. This is some more information about. This is Zachary Stitchin's stuff he got on Amazon.
Still selling. He died 14 years ago. Still clocking money. Still clocking money. Dude, they got a box set. Look at it. Complete Earth Chronicles. Dude, what is going on, man? Dude,
The 12th Planet, the Lost Book of Enki.
Dude, all you need is one Bible and then a dictionary if you don't understand what the words mean, and then possibly a couple history books so you can get like when they were fighting the wars and stuff, if you choose to do so. But all you need is a Bible and a dictionary, bro.
And this thing, like this thing here, the 12th planet. All this, the 12th planet. What the hell is the 12th? All three of them, the 12th planet. What the hell is the 12th planet gonna do for you?
Well, how is it gonna make you righteous? That's what I'm saying, and that's what you're saying. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Hold on. Click on the complete Zechariah Stitchin Earth Chronicle. Oh, that's the 9-book series set. Okay. So that's 9 books. I wonder how many he has in total. Is it 12 or?
Man, I don't know. And look at this one, the Lost Book of Enki, right? Enki, that's the dude I believe that had the fish and the water flowing off his shoulders. How the hell he wrote a bunch of books? The Lost Books of Enki? Are you freaking kidding me?
Dude is mistranslating and taking artistic liberty with he doing a Charlie Parker, taking a solo with a beat and changing the beat and everything with the translation and making books for people that are unsuspecting and unlearned to buy and follow after.
Yeah, the Anunnaki Chronicles. Oh my goodness, this is a total madness, bro. Total madness. Let me get a quick scripture. This is Acts 17. Read this real quick. Acts 17. What should we start on Acts 17? Let's start at I think 29.
Yep. Excellent.
You know what? Let me. I forgot to share the screen.
Yeah, that was the other one too.
I did.
Yeah, that not the one the wisdom. The Wisdom of Solomon one. You forgot. Yeah, that's all right. But people can look it up. It was Wisdom of Solomon 13, 1, 2, and 3.
Man.
Don't worry about it. You good now? Now you trying to have my eyes pop out my head, bro? Okay, thank you. Acts chapter 17, starting at verse 29. For as much then as we are the offspring of God, we ought not.
Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
Start at 26, matter of fact.
Acts 17, 26. And hath made of one blood all nations of men for to dwell on all the face of the earth, and hath determined the times before appointed and the bounds of their habitation, that they should seek the Lord, if haply they might feel after him and find him, though he be not far from every one of us. For in him we live and move and have our being, as certain also of your own prophets have said, for we are also his offspring. For as much then as we are the offspring of God, we ought not to think that the Godhead is like unto gold or silver or stone or graven by art and man's device.
And that's what they do. A lot of these things, they made images out of them. People bow down to these statues. Even to this day, people bowing down to statues and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But the Most High is a spirit. He's not in a statue.
That's right. And he don't need your gold
Uh-huh.
or your silver or your money.
And I know there's a scripture. I was looking for the scripture too, where the Most High was talking to Moses, and he told Moses, he said, the people see me dealing with you from the heavens. See that they make not to them statues of gold and of silver, you know, to me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's what the people were doing.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, read on.
And the times of this ignorance God winked at, but now commandeth all men everywhere to repent.
So all this philosophy and these doctrines of the Anunnaki and the different deities that came from that, or that people worshipped, and as we said last week, they didn't worship them all together. They took one kingdom would worship Ishtar, another kingdom might worship Shamash as the sun god, and put their different names on them. You know what I'm saying? Or you would have the Greeks that worship what? They worship the whole the Olympians.
Pantheon.
Yeah, the Olympians and what's the other one?
The Olympians and the it was the elder gods. The I forget the name, but it was the pantheon of gods. It was the whole host of heaven.
Yeah, Zeus, Thor, all this other stuff. That's all madness, man. So go ahead, read on.
Yep. Verse 31, because he hath appointed a day in the which he will judge the world in righteousness by that man whom he hath ordained, whereof he hath given assurance unto all men, in that he hath raised him from the dead.
So that man is Christ, the Mashiach. So he's going to judge all men, the world in righteousness. So where do you get information about righteousness? You damn sure ain't getting it from none of these books that we've been showing you. Ain't getting no information about righteousness, because we all are going to be judged. But we're not going to be judged based upon what Zachary Stitchin written about the Anunnaki. We're not going to be judged about what Billy Carson is writing about the Anunnaki. We're not going to be judged by the Egyptian Book of the Dead and all this other stuff. We're going to be judged. Read 31 again.
Because he hath appointed a day in the which he would judge the world in righteousness by that man whom he hath ordained, whereof he hath given assurance unto all men, in that he hath raised him from the dead.
So by that man which he has ordained, which is Christ, the Mashiach. So we're going to stand before Christ and be judged according to his wisdom and his knowledge and his understanding. That's why he told Moses, and Moses told us that he shall raise up a prophet from among our brethren, and whoever shall not hear that prophet, it shall be required of him.
Meaning he gonna die.
He going to die. So that's the book that you need to read. That's who you need to listen to. That's the information you need, not the Anunnaki. All right. So that's all I have. You have anything else?
One last thing. 2 Timothy 4, verses 3 and 4.
Okay.
You can put the magnification back to normal, bro, and just increase the text size if you want.
4 verses 3 and 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me
Yep. There we go. Okay. Let me read it right quick.
For the time, I'll read it.
Go ahead.
For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lusts shall they heap to themselves teachers having itching ears, and they shall turn away their ears from the truth, and shall be turned unto fables.
What is fables? It's a myth. And what is myth? mythology. A system of myth is mythology.
Mm.
Okay. So Paul was telling Timothy, listen, the time is going to come and we are living in it. And it's been going on for quite some time. We're not going to endure sound doctrine, but after our own lust. So if you believe in aliens and space creatures and their gods and goddesses and all that other stuff, and you like that and lust after it, and it can be a subtle lust, you going to heap to yourself all these Billy Carson, Jeremiah Stitches books, because guess what? Your ears are itching for stitching. Right? Your ears are itching for Jeremiah Stitches. And guess what else you're going to do? Going into that, you're going to turn your ears away from the truth and turn into a fable. Dude, these angels come, the scriptures bear it out that angels do not and have never mated with human women. Greek gods, which came from Egypt, which came from Assyria, Acadia, Babylon, and Sumeria, right? Those gods mated with women. Those are fables. Yeah. Cunningly devised fables. It mentions in another area of the Bible. Cunningly devised, smooth, with smooth teachers. And if your ears itch for it, you're going to go into it and you're going to be lost. That's why we come out with these classes on a lot of different actually subjects, to warn our people to leave that madness alone and come back to the Most High God through the Christ of the Bible. That was it. Giving all praises.
I'm gonna quote this real quick. This was in Acts 17. I didn't start that high, but I was thinking about it when you was reading that. Verse 22 said, "Then Paul stood in the midst of Mars Hill and said, Ye men of Athens, I perceive that in all things ye are too superstitious." And I would have to say that about this too, man. You have to be very superstitious to believe in these things. Just like believing a big fat man coming down your chimney. You far too superstitious. Or, all these things we've been reading about, man. This guy with water flying off his darn shoulders and all this crap, and they use a damn advanced tool to separate a giant's feet, the same tool they use to separate the earth from the ozone. All these things you are far too superstitious, man, to believe all this madness. So, yeah, I'm gonna just leave it there.
Yeah, giving all praises to the Most High through Christ, bro.
Giving all praises. So, yeah, we're gonna end it there. So, thank you for tuning in to another episode of our show. And as always, we pray that the Most High bless you, increase your knowledge, increase your wisdom, increase your understanding, and increase the fruits of your righteousness. With that, shalom.
Shalom.
I was so down, I was drowning. I ain't know I had a purpose. Looking for you, I was searching for you, and I'm learning. Yeah. I was haunted by the serpent. Had to keep my soul close, cause the Most High is who I'm serving. Yeah. I was so down, I was drowning. I ain't know I had a purpose. Looking for you, I was searching for you, and I'm learning. Yeah. I was haunted by the serpent. Had to keep my soul close, cause the Most High is who I'm serving. Yeah. I was so down, I was drowning. I used to look down in my heart and be drowning. And you know that this water is dark, need to escape, the pressure is hurting. Yeah, deeper I go, stuck in my woes. The sin is a struggle, I'm fighting it though. The pressure inside is cooking my mind. I need to repent, I'm hurting inside. Yeah, every day we go and fight, vigilant till the day that we die. Cause we ain't giving up alive, we just go harder for Christ. Daily battle, daily bread, gotta go eat, gotta stay fed. It ain't no game when the evil try and tread. Watch my back and my brody look ahead. So we defending the truth. If it come down to death, then we dying for you, Lord. So we stay patient, giving them praises all the way up to you, Lord. And the Most High come first, gotta build faith or end up in a hearse. Looking for living waters, searching for living water. I was so down, I was drowning. I ain't know I had a purpose. Looking for you, I was searching for you, and I'm learning. Yeah. I was haunted by the serpent. Had to keep my soul close, cause the Most High is who I'm serving. Yeah. I was so down, I was drowning. I ain't know I had a purpose. Looking for you, I was searching for you, and I'm learning.